I used to think love was a fire, something that burned wild, reckless, consuming everything in its path. That's what I felt when I met Daniel, the man I betrayed my husband for. But now, sitting alone in a dim apartment I can barely afford, I realize love isn't fire. It's not meant to scorch and destroy. Real love is warmth. It's steady, loyal, safe. And that was exactly what my husband, James, gave me. I didn't see it then. I was too blind chasing sparks. James was the kind of man most women prayed for. Steady job, gentle nature, a man who came home every night with flowers in his hand or a story to make me laugh. He never missed an anniversary, never failed to ask about my day. He wasn't flashy, but he was kind. Sometimes, though, kindness feels too quiet when the world tempts you with louder thrills. That's how Daniel slipped into my life. He was bold, charming, full of grand promises. He made me feel young again, reckless, like life was an adventure I was missing out on. He whispered things James never did. And I started convincing myself that my husband was boring, too predictable. One night, after too many drinks and too much flirting, I crossed a line I couldn't uncross. And once the affair began, guilt gave way to justification. I told myself James deserved better than a wife who felt trapped. I told myself Daniel was the man who truly understood me. So I left. The night I packed my bags, James didn't yell. He didn't beg. He simply looked at me with the saddest eyes I've ever seen and said, "If this is what you want, I hope he gives you everything you're throwing us away for." His words should have stopped me, but my pride was too strong. I thought I was walking into a brighter future. At first, life with Daniel was intoxicating. Late-night dinners, expensive trips, laughter that drowned out the tiny voice inside me whispering that I had made a mistake. But slowly, the cracks appeared. Daniel's charm faded into arrogance. His passion soured into control. He spent money recklessly, flirted with other women openly, and when I questioned him, he'd snap, reminding me I had chosen him and had nowhere else to go. One night, I caught him texting another woman, the same way he once texted me when I was still married. My stomach dropped as the realization hit. If he could help me betray James, why wouldn't he betray me too? But I stayed, because pride is a cruel master. I couldn't crawl back to James, not after the way I'd left. Friends who once admired me began whispering behind my back. My parents, who adored James, barely spoke to me. And Daniel? He grew colder by the day. The final blow came when he disappeared for 3 days without a word. When he finally returned, it wasn't with an apology but with a confession. He had fallen in love with someone else. Younger. Prettier. Someone who, in his words, still had excitement in her. He tossed my suitcase at me and told me to leave. And so I did. Now years later, I live alone. James moved on, he remarried, I heard. His new wife looks at him the way I should have, with gratitude and love. They have children now, the family we once talked about building together. I see them sometimes from a distance, and it tears at me in ways I can't describe. James looks happy. Truly happy. The kind of happiness I stole from him. Life made sure I paid the price for my betrayal. Every lonely night, every reminder of what I threw away, every smile James shares with his family that should have been mine. That's my punishment. People say time heals all wounds, but betrayal leaves a scar that never fades. I thought love was fire, but fire burns out. What James gave me was warmth, and I'll never know it again. My punishment isn't that I lost him. It's that I finally understand his worth, and I'll never get him back. So yes, I left my faithful husband for another man. And life, in its cruelest but truest way, made sure I paid the price.